Friendly hellos, this is the March 17th Filecoin Plus call. High level, what we're going to talk about is the peer-to-pool automated data cap allocation. So this is going to roll out in March 23rd. We're going to talk about what this is trying to achieve as far as having a resource for storage providers to come with paid clients and get the data cap set up and run through it. We're also going to check in on F3. We're still looking for SPs to confirm their Lotus setup and make sure that their miner IDs are showing as active. So just a friendly plug on that. We'll take some time for DataCap Refresh. We'll talk about the two that are in process and completed, Big Hash and Revelation. And we have a guest admin on the call who will just talk a little bit about the proofs of payment and any questions you might have for the call. As always, we'll have plenty of time on this call for any community-led conversations, as well as flags for everybody in Phil Plus about some conversations taking place in the FIP repo. So with that, quick check-in on metrics. We're seeing about 23 active allocators out of the 893. So we might talk a little bit about in the future about, hey, do we need to have sunsets come through, or what can we do to support you as go forward? As far as data caps going out, we're still seeing that 2.18 number. So a lot of big network growth kind of drive that forward. All right, hey, P2PP, this is the peer-to-pool ProRep allocator. So at a very high level, what this is trying to do is these 3 points that you see: reduce friction, increase deal opportunities, and expand the FOC. So if you've been in the program for a while, you know that the previous model of having this manual pathway where clients come to allocators with the data cap and the data requests that they have, then giving that back to the clients who then pull it to SPs. Oh, wonderful. I'm going to stop talking because we have the guest who's going to be on the call that could talk to this much more eloquently. I'll back up and give her just a moment. MPG, love to see you on the call. We had just walked through the intro and I was going to stumble through your beautiful slides, but now that I see you here, I will turn the floor over to you if you're in a good place.
I apologize for this. I didn't realize that the time escaped me. So thank you for starting it. I see that we are a very small crowd, which is intimate. Good. So yeah, we wanted to talk about the peer-to-peer pool model for for an allocator that Phil is developing. It is an experiment, as most of the things that we do, but I know that many of you have storage providers that are looking for data cap. Some of you are probably storage providers as well yourself, so maybe you would want to look for data cap and you can't really give data cap to yourself as an allocator and storage provider, so this might be an interesting opportunity for you. So if we go to the next slide. Yes, let's start with the why. Basically, there are three things that I think we all can admit to ourselves. First of all, most allocators today do data cap distribution manually. And this causes overhead. Obviously, there's a human that has to look at it, has to read through it. There are concerns about centralizations and lack of transparency because it's, our private decision whether we do give data cap or not. And it's subjective. Every client evaluation, no matter how much we try, is evaluated in an abstract. We don't really compare them to each other. And so we apply different lenses and some, probably we like some people more than the others. Some people are easier to work with than the others. And we really don't want to do that. So there is a need for automated allocations. Secondly, we would want to leverage the decentralized network. Today, if we think about it, Filecoin, as a storage provider, I connect to Filecoin. I am a Filecoin storage provider, but I still need to do my BizDev. I still need to onboard data. I still need to do all of those steps. And so what we want to say is, as an individual storage provider, you can provide storage services, but leverage the brand and the benefit of being a decentralized storage network. So this will mean collective BizDev effort. One, storage providers work, if they are doing BizDev, contributes to everyone's benefit, and everybody isn't kind of incentivized to contribute together. And when there is natural growth, then clients come to this one place, don't have to come to many places, now they have to come to just one place to find storage services. Everyone benefits from it. And we want to support clients looking for a space because today it's very hard. I mean, you know more better than I do how hard it is to get, as a client, I'm looking for storage services. Where do I go? How do I look up a storage provider's email address or whatever? And then with moving to this peer-to-pool model where one client's data can be distributed among multiple SPs, we reduce multiple copy requirement, meaning that the client can pay less, but more money lands in SP's pockets. Because we don't need 5 copies or something like that. We can get away with equivalent of 1.5, maximum 2 copies. And finally, we want to introduce support for ProRep in FOC. FOC is coming. The ecosystem is putting a lot of effort, a lot of money into building this system. But as of today, we don't really have support for ProRep SPs in FOC. And there is a need for it because the same way that there is a need for Filecoin warm storage service, ProRep SPs could be serving the Filecoin iCarvo storage service and leveraging the effort that is going into FOC. And if we do want to do that, there is no place for humans evaluating FOC deals, so we need to automate the allocators. So in summary, we reduce friction, increase deal opportunities, and expand with FOC. This is not to say that ProRep market as such will not exist, but there is a chance to expand opportunities for client demand leveraging FOC. So how do we do it? Today, I probably don't need to walk through it, but the manual allocator requires 6 steps. Client must ask for the storage deal or request access to DataCap. Then the storage provider will say, okay, well, you have to request DataCap on my behalf. Client has to go to Allocator, like why? Then do KYC. Then the allocator allocates DataCap to storage providers, and then storage provider is finally ready to pay deals to the client. So that's a lot of steps. In a peer-to-pool ProRep model, there are only 3 steps. Client applies to the peer-to-pool ProRep to get storage services under certain SLAs that they define. Peer-to-pool actually does it internally. It doesn't even communicate at that level with storage providers, but looks up in a SP registry which storage providers said that they would be willing to deliver such SLAs, and finds the ones that are, and then distributes the SIDs and the client payments and DataCap that is automatically attached to that to the storage providers. And storage providers just, well, actually the ProRep peer-to-pool model tells SPs where to pull the data from. So it's a pull model rather than the push model, but it's 3 steps. So if we go to the next slide, yeah, that is it, right? At least 6 steps compared to 3 and really 2, and it's fully automated and you don't have the overhead of like getting DataCap, justifying your existence and so on. And it's all SLA driven and it's all paid deals. So what are the next steps? Well, first of all, registration for storage providers opens on 23rd of March, which is next Monday. And we will be sharing the link for the registration platform. This is a very simple process. It's literally just asking you what kind of SLAs are you willing to serve to clients, what geographies, asks you for your wallet where you'll receive payment for client deals. And then you're forwarded to KYC verification step as a SP. It's something that we need to do because DataCap is involved and we are just an allocator, so we can't like freely give out DataCap to unverified people, but it should not take you more than 5 minutes really. The allocator launch on 6th of April through the experimental pathway meta allocator, where we will use 1 PIB of DataCap. And then we will apply for DataCap from the automated meta allocator to continue onboarding and have DataCap. We plan to finish an external security audit by April 30th and continue onboarding. So we have a first paying customer already secured because we do realize that we can't test it without a paying customer. So there is a moderate amount of data that is already coming into the system. And as a storage provider, all you need to do is just register and we'll start serving deals to you. So that's it. If you have any more questions, I have one more slide. If you have any more questions, get in touch with me. I'm MPG on Slack or mpg@fiddle.tech. Thank you.
Oh man, that's exciting stuff. Really exciting. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing that with us, Marta. I can't wait to see how that unfolds. All right, I think that maybe I'll take this next one. You might have seen some comments in the Phil Plus Slack as well as the Allocator Slack, and then a lot of you got DMs from me. We're trying to look for storage providers that can help with the participation update. So essentially, we require a two-thirds quorum. And right now, because we're not reaching that, the fast finality has stalled. So if you have contact with your storage providers, if you're watching this and you work with them, we're looking for a very quick fix from the SPs. Essentially, what they have to do is just ensure that they've upgraded to Lotus version 1.32 and 3 or greater. Then after that, just make sure it's stable on the 3.14. Then just verify that the F3 is running. Check your connectivity on the Lotus page. There's no firewalls or anything blocking with libp2p. And if you hit any blockers, one of the suggested is just restart the daemon if needed, so you get a full restart. That'll bring us back to that quorum. If you have any questions, we've linked some of the GitHub in both the Allocator Slack, the Phil Plus Slack, and in any DMs that you got from me. But relaying this to storage providers would be very appreciated, and thank you for your time and help on that. All right. Hey, DataCap Refresh. So maybe I kick off, and then Amin, if you're on the call, I'd love to hand it over to you. So if you're reading this or going through and you're curious what your refresh status are, we essentially have the March running refresh. Big props to Amin. Thank you for getting that up and board. So you'll see that we have 2 that just completed. We finished the YMHB, that was 5 PIBs, and then the big hash data review went out for 10. So Revelation, yours is currently going through the process now. Thank you for the detailed write-up. Once that's done, you'll see the comments from Amin in your issue, as well as that migrated over to issue 500 for the updates. If you're looking for any guidance on that refresh process, there are several inactive pathways, and you could check out and get some more context in 501. To those inactive pathways, in the application, we talked about really wanting to have an engaged community on the allocator basis. That way, as clients come, they know that they're reaching out to allocators that are going to have a response back to them, still heavily involved in the program. So if you are in the allocator program and you have an allocated data cap, this is that friendly plug, and we'll reach out again like, hey, is there anything we can do to help? Do you have any questions? What can we help clarify for you? And just try to make it easy as possible. And again, if you have any questions on the refresh process or what goes into it, DataCap issue 501 has a clear breakdown on that, and love to get any feedback or questions that you may have. Amin, can I turn it over for you for just a quick check-in on the proof of payment and how that's going?
Sure, thanks for the pass, Kevin. I feel like we've had the chance to showcase quite a few times the different tenets of how proof of payment is being assessed. I feel like there's also a good level of participation and compliance from the recent teams that have provided those. I just want to make sure, as a reminder, the intent is not to find for gotcha moments. The intent is to make sure that there is business relationships between the end clients and the allocators managing those, and also fit with the current initiatives. The trending is definitely going towards payment first and paid deal first for data allocation. This is also as a meaningful way to support how the ecosystem is being supported, but also to ensure that the teams remain accountable, not just from the perspective of our compliance that we're looking to enforce, but also for, client-focused service level agreements to make sure that there is quality management of those data onboarding. So I just want to surface by saying kudos to the teams that have provided those. Again, I'm always reachable. You can find me at Amin Dash Foundation on Slack, and I want to salute that, we remain talkable and workable. Even if you don't have very specific invoices that are specific with names, etc. We do base ourselves on on-chain payments proof as well. And feel free to bundle those as long as they are convenient and consistent with the past allocations made.
Man, thanks for taking the time to walk us through that. Thank you. All right, we kind of open this up for discussion if anybody wanted to join this. As always, we try to structure these calls as like what's taking place on tooling, what's taking place for compliance, what are just some general things taking place in the community. So as far as FIP discussions, there are two that heavily impact the Filecoin Plus program. I think everyone that's currently talked so far, we're not in a role on the governance. We're mostly just stewards to try to kind of help make this the best program that it could possibly be to help facilitate data in the best possible way. So in that regard, just trying to bubble these up for awareness so everybody can comment or be engaged or make their voices heard. So there's two right now. There's Daybreak, which is 1238, and Sunrise, which is 1240. And as you take a look at the breakdown, I'm probably not the most eloquent to speak on these and kind of articulate what they're going for. But what Rears has filed with 1238 at a very high level, it's gradually reducing the verified deal weight multiplier from 10 to 1x over time. And then how do you deal with the mining reserve that's left over? So if you have thoughts on that, that's a great FIP to kind of go make your discussion. It's currently in the discussion mode right now before it moves to FIP. And just kind of see what the community is saying, make your voice heard and go forward. Conversely, we have the FIP Sunrise 1240 by Fatman, which is kind of changing that. So allowing permissionless deals that go forward and then move that mining reserve back to mining rewards. So a little bit of a change in how the mining reserve is dealt with and a little bit of a change on how the block rewards are kind of distributed as they go forward. So what's going to be retired, what's going to be moving forward. So again, at the Phil Plus level, those of us that are working, we're more at the program level, just operators trying to make this the best it can. There's a whole team of governance that deals with how these are distributed and how they're voted on and who's in charge and how they're going forward. So great levels of conversation, but just to kind of stress what we're doing right here is just dealing with the Filecoin Plus ecosystem and how we can make it with the confines that we're given the best program that it could be. So if you have thoughts, if you have comments, please check out these FIPS discussions and make your voice heard. With that, I'll kind of turn it over for any community thoughts on anything that we've talked about, whether it's the FIPS, we can go back to it, the peer-to-pool, the DataCap allocations, or any refresh that might have been. All right. Well, as always, if you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for your time. We'll make sure that these are all uploaded here as we go forward. And the next call will be taking place at 1900 Pacific 0200 UTC. All the best, everyone. Cheers.